In this video, I show how I work with my dog through distractions in a local park. Off screen, there are dogs that are barking, and there's also some lawn equipment. The exercise that I'm using with this is called Look at That, and so I reward my dog when he is looking at something, but he's remaining appropriate. And I do this with things that my dog has seen before, so it's not something that's new. If it's something that's new, I want to give him a chance to process it and watch, but he's seen other dogs before, he knows what other dogs are, so when he looks towards where those other dogs are, I say yes, and then I reward him. And then I can start to wait for him to look back at me on his own. But that's after a lot of repetitions of building the expectation that, hey, when you look at that distraction over there and remain appropriate, I am going to give you something. So you can see my dog is a little distracted right now. We're in a park. There's lots of good smells. I'm not trying too hard to get his attention back on me. I want the words that I say to mean something to my dog. I'm also giving him a moment to sniff the area around us so that he can get it out of his system, and then he will be more ready to work with me. Practicing this Look at That exercise is how I get a dog that can see other dogs and not lose their mind, or see people and not get overexcited. And I'm practicing at a really far distance from those barking dogs because this is the distance that my dog needs to be in order to remain calm. If he is pulling or barking, anything that is other than just standing there calmly, I've already lost and I am not accomplishing anything. He hears those other dogs bark, I say yes, and I reward him. So I'm building that connection of, you look at those other dogs that are barking, I'm going to give you something. And what that does is it builds an expectation from him of, when he sees other dogs, when he hears other dogs, check back in with the handler, because that's what he's been conditioned to do. This is an exercise that pause trainers use for the dogs that are getting ready to go to their clients, so that the dog builds handler focus and learns to check in with their handler rather than move towards distractions that are around them. And so I know that the dogs that live near this park bark frequently, so this is a place that I can go to practice that. I also like to keep track of the areas in my neighborhood where I know dogs will either be behind fences that my dog can see, or they will be somewhere that my dog can either hear or see them, so that when I walk past, I may move to the other side of the street so that I'm not too close, but that gives me the opportunity to practice this exercise with my dog when I know that there are other dogs that I can find easily in my neighborhood. There is no shortcut for this exercise. If there is something that you want your foster puppy to do when they see other dogs or when they see people, then that takes time and practice to work with them and get them to that point. And so what you need to keep in mind is, the closer you are to the distraction, the more likely the dog is to ignore you and to behave in a way that you don't want, which is why I'm starting out probably a good 20 yards from where those barking dogs are, because if I got closer than that, my dog would not be successful at this exercise. My aim with this exercise is to reward my dog for doing the correct behavior rather than getting him into a situation where he does the wrong thing and then trying to fix it from there.